All right. So you want to know what it really takes to get to the top, in the world of magic. We're
Hmm.
talking about going beyond just tricks
Right.
and kind of getting into the mindset, the secrets, the stuff that separates those quick
Mm,
from everybody else.
absolutely.
And today we are diving deep into a conversation with Nick Lewin.
Yeah,
And Nick Lewin is he's a magician who's been wowing audiences for over 50 years,
that's right.
everywhere from cruise ships to comedy clubs
Everything in
and
between.
everything in between.
Yeah.
And he's got some really incredible wisdom to share.
And you know what's so interesting about his perspective
Mhm.
is that he really emphasizes that
Yeah.
that raw talent
Mm-hmm.
isn't the be all and end all.
Oh.
There's something even more important.
Okay, now you've got me hooked.
Okay.
What is the secret ingredient?
He calls it connection.
Uh-huh.
It's about forging a genuine connection with your audience,
Okay.
making them feel like they're part of the experience
Right.
rather than just passive observers.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I remember a producer once told my son,
Okay.
who's an actor,
Yeah.
that lots of people have talent, but very few have presence.
Right.
It sounds like they're talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
That's something that draws people in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Nick Lewin's mentor,
Yeah.
the legendary Billy McComb,
Yeah.
had this really cool way of visualizing this connection.
Hmm.
He imagined invisible threads
Hmm.
connecting his eyes to each person in the audience.
Wow.
He believed that he could channel their energy
Interesting.
and send his own energy back along those threads,
Huh.
building a real tangible connection.
That's such a vivid image.
Yeah.
It really brings this abstract idea of connection to life.
It does. Yeah.
It's not just about standing on stage and performing your tricks.
Right.
It's about actively engaging
Mm.
with the people watching you.
Absolutely.
Right.
And that leads us to Nick Lewin's next big point,
Okay.
honesty and authenticity.
Okay.
He believes that trying to force a persona that doesn't fit is a recipe for disaster.
Mm.
You have to be true to yourself,
Right.
to your own unique style and personality.
It's like that story about Houdini.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know he initially flopped because he
Huh.
was trying to be this dapper magician with the top hat and the tails?
Interesting.
He wanted to be all elegance and sophistication, but it just wasn't him.
It's true.
Yeah.
His real strength lay in his raw showmanship, his ability to connect with the audience through sheer energy and daring.
Right.
Once he embraced that,
Yeah.
he became a legend.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
It seems like finding your authentic style is crucial
Mm.
for building that genuine connection
Well,
with your
yeah,
audience.
It is.
But here's something that really surprised me.
Okay.
Nick Lewin says the real secret weapon,
Yeah.
even more important
Okay.
than talent or presence, is professionalism.
And he's not just talking about showing up on time and wearing the right clothes.
Right.
It's about a deeper level of respect
Yeah.
for your craft, for the audience,
Right.
for everyone involved in the production.
So what does that look like in practice?
Okay.
What are some specific examples?
Well, for example, he's a big believer in always sticking to your allotted time,
Mm,
no matter how well the act is going.
right.
It's about respecting the schedule,
Yeah.
respecting the other performers,
Sure.
and respecting the audience's time.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's easy to get carried away when the crowd is loving you.
Mm.
But a true professional
Yeah,
knows that staying within that time limit is essential.
exactly.
Yeah.
And another key aspect of professionalism is being prepared for anything.
Okay.
He always has backups upon backups for his tricks.
Right.
Because let's face it,
Mm.
things can and do go wrong.
Oh, yeah.
A true professional
Yeah.
is ready to handle any situation smoothly and seamlessly.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's not just about talent.
Mm-hmm.
It's about being reliable,
Yes.
consistent, and prepared for anything.
Absolutely.
That's fascinating.
It is.
And, even something as simple as knowing how to run a technical rehearsal efficiently
Oh,
falls under this umbrella of professionalism.
Yeah.
It's not your personal practice session.
Exactly.
It's about respecting the crew's time and expertise. So be organized,
Right.
be prepared,
Yep.
and be respectful of everyone's time.
That's it.
That sounds like solid advice, not just for magicians,
Mm-hmm.
but for anyone in a performance-based field.
Absolutely.
And speaking of preparation,
Yeah.
Nick Lewin stresses the importance of crafting a clear and concise introduction for the MC.
Right.
You don't want to overwhelm them with a long, rambling bio.
Keep it short,
Right.
impactful.
Yeah.
Let the magic speak for itself.
So far, we've got connection,
Mm-hmm.
authenticity, and professionalism.
Yes.
These are some serious insights.
They are.
But I know Nick Lewin has even more wisdom to share.
He does.
What else does he see as crucial for reaching that top-tier level?
Well, he also talks about the importance of observation and constant iteration.
Okay.
And he actually learned this from kind of an unexpected source.
Okay.
Comedians.
Comedians, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
How so?
Well, you noticed how comedians are always writing new material,
Right.
trying it out on stage,
Yeah.
and then ruthlessly cutting out anything that doesn't get a laugh.
Ugh.
They're constantly refining their act,
Right.
honing each joke down to its most potent form.
It reminds me of that Jay Leno quote.
Oh, yeah.
You take out one word,
Mm,
see if it still works, take out another word.
right.
It's amazing how much precision goes into crafting a truly effective joke.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Nick Lewin applies this same principle to his magic.
Okay.
He actually records his shows
Uh-huh.
and then listens back to analyze his performance.
That's-
He's looking for even the smallest areas
Mm-hmm.
where he can improve his timing, his delivery,
Wow.
the way he interacts with the audience.
It's like he's treating his performance as a sculptor would a block of clay,
Mm-hmm.
constantly shaping and refining it until it's perfect.
It is.
I love that attention to detail.
It's that dedication to continuous improvement
Yeah.
that truly sets the great performers apart.
Right.
They never settle for good enough. They're always striving to be better.
Now, you mentioned earlier that Nick Lewin has performed in all sorts of venues.
Right.
Comedy clubs, cruise ships, corporate events.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, how does he adapt his act to such different audiences?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
He believes that understanding your audience is crucial.
Okay.
You need to tailor your material and your presentation to the specific context.
Right.
For example, a trick that might kill in a comedy club
Yeah.
might fall flat at a corporate event.
So it's not just about having a bag of tricks. It's about knowing which tricks to pull out for which occasion.
It is.
That sounds like it takes a lot of experience and intuition.
It does.
Yeah.
And Nick Lewin emphasizes the importance of stage time,
Mm-hmm.
of actually getting out there and performing in front of real audiences.
Right.
He spent 11 years headlining comedy clubs, sharing the stage with legends like Marvin Roy. And he says, you just can't replicate that kind of learning experience in a practice room.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like the difference between reading about how to ride a bike
Right.
and actually getting on one and figuring it out.
Exactly.
You learn so much from those real-world experiences,
Mm-hmm.
from those moments when things go right.
Yep.
And yes, even from those moments when they go wrong.
Absolutely.
He also talks about how beginners often have these awkward transitions between tricks,
Oh, yeah.
while a seasoned performer creates a seamless flow,
Mm-hmm.
weaving everything together into a cohesive whole.
It's like the difference between reading a collection of short stories and getting swept away by a novel.
Right.
A true professional creates an experience, a journey for the audience.
Exactly.
And that mastery of flow only comes with practice,
Right.
with time on stage,
Yeah.
with learning how to read the audience and adjust your performance accordingly.
Now, one of the things that really fascinates me about Nick Lewin's magic is how he can take these seemingly small, simple tricks
Uh-huh.
and make them feel huge-y.
He's a master of that.
Right.
He understands that it's not about the complexity of the trick itself,
Mm-hmm.
but about the way you present it, the story you tell,
Okay.
the emotions you evoke.
His gypsy thread routine is a perfect example.
Oh, yeah.
His classic trick that's been performed countless times.
Mm-hmm.
But he imbues it with such emotion and visual impact
Right.
that it becomes something truly magical.
And the fact that it was featured in David Copperfield's TV special.
Yeah.
The magic of David Copperfield, 15 years of magic, speaks volumes.
Right.
Copperfield, known for his grand illusions, chose to include this relatively simple trick
Right.
because of the way Nick Lewin performed it.
That's incredible.
It is.
It shows that even a small trick can be elevated to something extraordinary
Mm-hmm.
with the right approach.
Exactly.
And another great example is his linking finger rings routine.
Oh, yeah. Good one.
It's a trick that could easily feel suspicious or contrived in the wrong hands.
Right.
But Nick Lewin turns it into this incredibly powerful and emotional moment
Mm-hmm.
by getting the audience directly involved.
He does.
He borrows their rings.
Yep.
He builds suspense. He encourages them to react vocally.
He does.
It's more than just a trick. It's an experience.
Right.
And he even got a huge compliment from Di Vernon.
Really?
A legendary magician known for his close-up magic.
Wow.
Vernon was so impressed with the routine that he told Nick Lewin he would pay him anything to learn it.
Wow, that's high praise from a true master.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So it seems like true mastery in magic isn't about having the most elaborate tricks or the flashiest props.
Right.
It's about connection, authenticity, professionalism, and the ability to make even the simplest tricks feel truly magical.
It is.
Right?
And there's one more crucial element we haven't talked about yet.
Okay.
The business side of magic.
Oh, right.
Nick Lewin has some very specific advice for magicians who want to turn their passion into a sustainable career.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Being a successful magician isn't just about the performance.
Right.
It's also about understanding how to market yourself, how to manage your finances, how to build a business.
Absolutely.
I'm really interested to hear what he has to say about that.
Okay.
It's funny, we often think of magic as this whimsical, almost otherworldly art form.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned, there's a whole practical business side to it as well.
Absolutely.
What are some of Nick Lewin's insights on that?
Well, he's very clear that to make a living as a comedy magician, you really need to be business savvy.
Okay.
He even recounts this hilarious quote from his mentor, Billy McComb.
Oh, I love Billy McComb's sayings.
Oh, yeah.
What did he say?
He told Nick Lewin
that
the only way to make money as a comedy magician is through real estate.
I guess the lesson there is that diversifying your income is never a bad idea, no matter what field you're in.
Exactly.
But I imagine there are more magic-specific business tips that he shared.
Absolutely.
What are some of those?
Nick Lewin himself built a successful business.
Okay.
Lewin Enterprises, where he sells his routines, he offers consultations, and really shares his knowledge with other magicians. And he stresses that you can't just be a great performer.
Right.
You have to be a savvy entrepreneur as well.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So what does that look like in practice?
Okay.
What are some of the key things that magicians should be thinking about?
Well, for one thing, he emphasizes the importance of constantly evolving and adapting. He's seen magicians get stuck in their ways.
Right.
Clinging to outdated material or failing to keep up with changing trends.
Yeah.
To be successful in the long run, you need to be flexible, innovative, and always looking for ways to improve your act and your business.
It's like that saying, adapt or die.
Right.
But in this case, it's more like adapt or your act dies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He also highlights the importance of marketing and networking.
Okay.
You can be the most talented magician in the world,
Right.
but if no one knows about you, you won't get gigs.
Yeah.
You need to build relationships with bookers, agents, other people in the industry.
So it's not just about what happens on stage. It's about what happens off stage as well.
Absolutely.
It sounds like being a successful magician requires a blend of artistic talent and entrepreneurial spirit.
It does.
Yeah.
And Nick Lewin's career is a testament to that.
Right.
He's not just a gifted performer. He's also a savvy businessman.
Yeah.
Who has built a thriving career and a lasting legacy.
His story is really inspiring. I think there's a valuable lesson here for all of us.
Yeah.
No matter what field we're in.
Right.
It's not enough to just be good at what you do. You need to be passionate, dedicated, and willing to constantly learn and grow.
Absolutely.
Both creatively and professionally.
And perhaps most importantly, you need to never lose sight of the joy and wonder that drew you to your craft in the first place.
Right.
That passion will fuel your success and sustain you through the inevitable challenges along the way.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of Nick Lewin, what's the big takeaway?
I think it's true success is a multifaceted journey. It's about finding your unique voice, honing your craft, connecting with your audience, and building a career that's both fulfilling and sustainable. And while raw talent is a wonderful starting point, it's the dedication, the professionalism, the constant learning and adapting that will ultimately elevate you to that top-tier level.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
And you know what's so great about Nick Lewin's insights is that they're not just applicable to magic.
Right.
Whether you're an artist, an entrepreneur, or just someone with a passion you want to pursue, these principles hold true.
They do.
So for you listening, ask yourself,
Mm-hmm.
what seemingly simple skill or talent do you possess
Right.
that could be elevated to a top-tier level with the right approach?
What are you passionate about?
Yeah, what makes you unique?
Mm-hmm.
And how can you combine those elements to create something truly extraordinary?
Absolutely.
Don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Experiment.
Mm.
Learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
And never stop seeking new knowledge and inspiration.
Right.
And who knows, maybe someday you will be the one sharing your wisdom and inspiring others to reach for their dreams.
That's it.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.